Hello! Today we're going to continue our story on bringing back the whooping crane. And if you remember, we talked about Now You See Them. And we located in this paragraph two details that told us why we don't see whooping cranes. And we found out that the reasons, the details of why we don't see them is that there's only a few hundred of the rare birds left, and that 60 years ago, there were only 20 whooping cranes in the United States. Now, I wanted to show you on this map about how it talked about how they migrated. So here's the United States, and if you look at this, you will see up here is Canada. So it said that they migrate from Canada to the southern United States, which is down here. So they travel every year from up here in Canada all the way down to the southern United States every year. Okay, so now we're going to continue on to our next chapter. And the next chapter is called Cranes in Danger. So one question that I could ask myself before I read this chapter is, why are they in danger? What happened? Why are these birds endangered? So this is what we're going to try to ask ourselves. Why are they endangered? And we have to locate in this chapter the reasons or find the answer why they're in danger. So let's start reading. Before pioneers settled the North American prairies, there were thousands of whooping cranes. And here's what a whooping crane looks like. By the 1860s, there were only about 1,000 birds. By 1940, only about 20 whooping cranes were left. What happened to make so many of these beautiful birds disappear? Let's see if we can find details of why they disappeared. The cranes disappeared for three main reasons. I wonder if those were the details. Loss of their habitat, overhunting, and egg collecting. Loss of habitat. Whooping cranes like to live in open, marshy places. In this habitat, remember the habitat means where they live. In this habitat, they can find food and materials for shelter and nesting. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, large areas of marshes were drained to create farmlands. This was a disaster for the whooping crane, and you can see here they're going over the land to make it into a farm, and that's where the whooping cranes live. So that's one reason why they're endangered. And I'm going to write that reason up here at number 1. That's a detail. One of the details of why they're in danger is they lost of habitat. Or they lost their homes. All right, let's read the next one. Let's keep going. Overhunting. Hunters shot whooping cranes as they migrated between Canada and the southern United States. So if you look at this map, here's Canada. Migration means they traveled every year. So they started here and they would go south to Florida. Every year, the long route south for migrating whooping cranes. So why are they in danger? Their loss of habitat or their home because people made farms, or they were also overhunted. That means that people hunted them. So that's another reason. That's reason number 2. Or detail number 2. And let's keep going. Egg collecting. As the cranes became more rare, collectors took their eggs as souvenirs. Cranes usually lay 2 eggs each season, but only 1 chick survives. So you have to think to yourself, they only lay 2 eggs a year, but only one of those 2 eggs lives to be a chick. So if people were taking their eggs, that means that they didn't have any eggs that hatched. So that was the third detail of why these cranes are in danger, is that people were collecting their eggs. Egg collecting. So, what we've learned from this chapter by asking the question, why are cranes in danger? We know 3 details of why they're in danger. They lost their habitat or their home. They were overhunted by hunters, and people started collecting their eggs. Tomorrow, we're going to read about how we are saving the whooping cranes. See you tomorrow.